Alright, so it's Saturday morning and I'm about to get into work, and it's not because I have to, it's because I want to. And I think it's an important thing probably for a deeper discussion, but around that is I have in my day all the things that I know give me a fulfilling day. So purpose, joy, impact. So I've set up the structure of my day. Now I might tinker for 2 or 3 hours today. Maybe that's all at once, maybe it's throughout the day, but I know that at the end of the day I will have had a fulfilling day of what that looks like for Kim. So the other thing about the morning, I think it's important to know about when you work best, and I do work great in the morning, so that's why I'm taking advantage of that. Have a good coffee. I'm about to get into a task now that's going to use my thinking. I'm going to use my time and my energy the most way so that I can have the biggest impact through that task and the output that I have. So just understand that self-awareness. I know I'm ridiculous after lunch. I love to have delicious food at lunch and have a little play or go to the beach or whatever it might look like, and then get back to things in the afternoon. So that awareness around structuring your day in a way that works for you to have the most fulfillment, whatever that looks like for you, but also the outputs and the quality outputs for each of those things, as a friend, as a leader, as a person delivering work that you're getting paid for, whatever it is, so that you can have the maximum impact, and each of those things in my day gets the best of myself. So I want to show you something that is useful for helping me, because I was about to start the task and I get very, very overwhelmed. So let me help you deal with, or show you how I deal with that. So I'm a little bit excited and overwhelmed. I've got my sprint challenge, which is the 10K giveaway. So I'm continuing that task, but I'm like, oh God, there's so much to do. So I just started documenting what are all the things that I need to do and get it out of my head. That helped me make sense of it. Then I put these numbers against it and I'm like, okay, this is the order of priority. I'm using a tablet, so I like cut and paste, which makes it easier. And I'm like, oh God, that's a lot still to get done. And then so I think about, okay, well, what's the priority? First, second, third, in order of impact and being able to launch or whatever it is. So I go and give them colors, and then I'm able to categorize them in now. I just need to focus on the yellow for now. I'm like, still a lot. I'm not going to get that done today. Hello, it's Saturday. I don't want to spend my day here, and I want to be out enjoying this sort of stuff. So then I think about, okay, well, what is it going to take? I know I'm going to do a bit of work myself. The girls don't work on the weekends, but sometimes I do, because this is a hobby for me as well. Like, I love what I do, so it doesn't feel like work. But Saturday, Sunday and Monday, when Vic and I will be working again together. So I start plotting out each of the things. I had to move them around because they had dependencies. You might want to look at a Gantt chart for that. But then I'm able to prioritize it. And now I know it's not all of these things that need to be achieved. It's just focusing on these. And for now, in the morning, I'm just going to do the 10K offer. Then I'm going to do my peer review of the team stuff. So making it easy like that really helped me go, okay, now I'm ready to start, which then allowed me to prompt, because we're giving a spot, it's $10,000 to participate. We're going to give a spot away for someone so that they can improve their employee experience with us. And then I just think about, what's our offer? I need a 1-page offer for the competition. So I just think the why, the how, anyway, that's like the process. That's what I need to do. And then out of that, I get little actions. So I use a little red. The color psychology with red is like, take action, do something. I'm calling attention to it. I use the blue up there because actually I have lots of things on this page, but with the blue, it's just like, what is that specific thing that I'm dealing with? And then I have little actions. And as I achieve them, I cross them out. So I've also got myself a little challenge. Like here, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm like, that is too much for someone to read. So I set myself a challenge, haven't done it just yet, but can I say all of that, the why, the impact that it's going to have, like all of the things you get and how to enter, can I say those 3 things in 5 words or less? So that is the journey, that is my thought process. And then the next thing will be, I need to make it visually appealing. And also I need to think about the customer journey. So that's me doing a bit of human-centered design. When they see this message, what happens for them next? How do I want them to feel? What do I want them to see? What do I want them to know? So I'm empathizing with that end user. So that is what I'm working on this morning, while I have a really strong coffee and energy to put into it. Okay, so I've just had a little brain break and went for a walk to that waterfall after my morning tasks. And I think it's just important to point out that you don't have to be sitting at your computer the whole time or doing the thing. As soon as you are not productive, this is permission to stop and walk away from that task. You're not being effective, you're not going to do your best work, and I think you need to build in that, I know it's work for me if I build in that self-awareness to go, I'm wasting time, I'm just staring at the screen, I'm not getting things out, so I stop, I walk away, do something completely different, and when I was on the walk, ping, 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 problem solving galore. So I'm about to sit back down now and get into the second part of my day. Okay, so I'm peer reviewing Victoria's employee experience ideas list that we're putting in this onboarding bootcamp, and it's a peer review from her 1-day sprint, and this is my sprint task for today. But I want to point out something really, really cool. So remember how I talked about that time yesterday where we had the team brief? Look at what I've trained the team to do. So they're interpreting their understanding of the task, her notes on anything, the context that was shared in that conversation, how to get there. We had a little chat about what might be the most effective. She's got that there, and look at that due. She has to have it done by lunchtime to be able to check in on the afternoon task. Now, I don't look at that. I just go, that's incredible that I know that she's put that thought process into the task. So I'm just going to skip down. She's highlighted this in yellow, which is obviously a handover to me, so I will read that. But what she's got is this amazing list. So she's put it together, whatever it might look like, and then I will go and peer review this. So I'm proofreading it, I'm making sure the context is there, I'm adding to it. So we're just building and iterating. And the value of this is I don't need to look at this part of it. However, if something is amiss down here and I'm wondering, why did she make that decision? How did she get to that conclusion? I would come back up here and seek to understand so I can clarify and go on from there. So I want to introduce you to this template that we started using as a team. The team would come to me and ask me questions throughout the task, interrupt my flow, all of that sort of stuff. They weren't set up for success either because they didn't have the information they needed to be able to complete the task. So we were just inefficient, and I wanted to help develop their critical thinking skills and their planning skills. So this template came about to help develop them. So it includes things like the date of the task itself, the expected duration, which I asked them to come up with. The actual duration, that helps us plan for future things because we think it'll take something, then we know it's taken this long. So if we ever have a task in the future, we're able to go, actually, that's how long it took, so we can plan better next time. The problem the task is solving, the goal or the outcome that it's trying to achieve. So we have that conversation when we're handing over a task, or that's given as a task handover, whether it's in an email or a calendar invite. And the next thing is they go and figure out the task to close the gap. And then they have to prioritize them in order. So that's helping them think and plan their task fully, which allows them to plan and create the expected output in a certain amount of time. Now, I also get them to think about the consequences and risks of tasks, and that will be any of these things in here because that's a deeper level of problem solving, a deeper level of planning. And then any assumptions. I don't want my team making assumptions. A lot of the time we know the answers, or we plan for assumptions. So what if it's going to go this way? What if it's going to go that way? What if this happens? What if this doesn't happen? So at least calling them out helps us build a better, effective outcome. So this took a lot of months, and at the beginning, I actually made them do it for every single task. So that was built into their project time, but they had to do it for every single thing, whether they were writing an email, whether they were writing a blog. Now it's embedded in them and they just do that thinking, but it did take a couple of months to build that capability within the team. However, now they know the right questions to ask for them when we're doing a task brief, and also the expected outputs and the quality of that is brilliant. And also they feel more autonomous, more empowered. Their self-belief and their own belief in themselves, which then impacts the quality of the task. That's come through. So I encourage you to use that within your teams. What it feels like when you solve a problem on a walk. I've just written the intro first vlog for the journey, even though it stays in. But the power of getting outside, the momentum of that walk down, I do have to get back up, that just flowed. And I feel like flow in movement helps scripts come out when you're writing an animation script, whatever it is, problem solving, leverage the momentum or whatever that activity is for you. Here's a little look at the resource that Vic was working on that's in our onboarding bootcamp. So to encourage a healthy work-life balance, some of the ideas which we have is we give employees the option to adjust their hours from a standard 9 to 5. So we work 45 minutes extra every day, so we have a 9-day fortnight. Another little idea is make time for your employees to do check-ins with themselves. So we do a wheel of life activity. It just kind of helps you calibrate on a relationship, social, health, career, financial perspective, and we also have a chat about that and see how 𝗹𝗶𝘀 Studios can support that. Another thing is to better clarify expectations. Some of the ideas and the things that we do in our team is we provide clear directions and briefs, and we have them call back what they heard when we communicate to ensure there's no misinterpretation or communication. Another thing we do is I don't enforce perfectionism if it's not required. So I'll say, look, 10% of errors is acceptable for this task. Going over the estimated duration by 10% is acceptable for this task. Some ideas to recognize and reward your employees. Look, I speak to them and ask them, how do you want to be rewarded? We do excursions, we have team lunches, paid activities, paid time off for their birthday or a special milestone, or just because they've been doing a good job. Give them flexibility in their scheduled hours, they work remotely, so those kinds of things. Also, I do delegate tasks based on what my employees enjoy doing and what their strengths are. I ask them for help and advise when I need it, so that I show them that I value their opinions, and I definitely do, and I know that as a leader and as a manager and a business owner I can't do all that myself. And I also take action on the things that they've expressed interest in, so it could be some of the rewards listed above, or if I can't do it now, I communicate it when it is possible or find an alternative that will satisfy them. Next thing is creating opportunities for them, whether it's personal, learning or employment related. I actually have time booked in specific for them to learn. We do an hour per week, so dedicated learning time. If you follow our Studio Insights, that's also dedicated learning time. I also create the space for them to reflect on their performance and ask them, what did they learn? What would you do differently next time? To improve communication, we've got a few ideas, but one that I'll just share here is role model the positive communication and behaviors and action that you desire. This employee experience ideas resource that's part of our onboarding bootcamp has some ideas for improving the overall company culture. Here's all of those. But yeah, check out, that's part of the project, something that fits in there and something we've been working on so far in our sprint for this project, because we know it works for us, so therefore we know it will work for other companies too and have the positive impact that we benefit from.